Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Try a Trade Takeout. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a motorised truck. So let's take a look at what we get in our kits. Each student will receive 2 pieces of cardboard, some shared wire strippers, a straw, skewer, motor, switch, battery leads, battery and 4 wheels. So step 1 is the design process, and our ultimate goal is to create our truck design. So we want to make sure that it's 15 centimeters long, 7 centimeters wide and 8 centimeters tall. So for the purpose of time, I've pre-assembled mine, but really this is the chance to get creative. So if you have a favorite truck you like, you can design that. If you want to make a supercar, you can also design that. We really look forward to seeing what you come up with. So when building our vehicle, there's a few things we need to keep in mind. We have to make sure that the hole we've cut for our wheels is big enough so that we can fit the wheels and then they'll spin without interfering. So our wheels are 1 inch in diameter, so bear that in mind. Secondly, we want to ensure that we create a stack between our axle and where our motor is going to sit. And then by creating a stack using a few pieces of cardboard on top of each other, this ensures that when we attach our axle and our wheel, the elastic band we use to do so remains taut so that the wheels will spin. And finally, we want to add a piece of cardboard here, just where the motor is going to go, so the piece of cardboard will push against our spindle there on our motor, which will ensure it will spin. So our next step is to assemble our wheels and our axle. So each wheel will come pre-drilled, and then what I have done is I've cut out cardboard circles and I've glued them into each wheel, and I also punctured a hole into them to line up with the hole in the wheel. And what this will do is this ensures that when you add the skewer into the wheel, it holds it stable so that it's not spinning too fast. So once I've added the circles cutouts to each of the wheels, I then took the straw and I cut it to the length of the base of the truck. So one there, and then also another one for there. And then again, I took my skewer and I did that just maybe like 1.5 inches on each side, just so that again, it's not interfering with the vehicle, but there's also enough space for the wheels. So the next step is to take some glue. So I'm using a hot glue gun. PVC will also work too. And we're going to glue on our pieces to the truck. So just here, do a line across there, take the axle and stick that onto there, and make sure if you are using hot glue gun, you use gloves every time just to protect our fingers. And again, stick that on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the skewers and you're going to feed these through the straws, like so. And then our next step is to take the wheels and just add those onto the skewers. Now they might be a bit fiddly, so if you do need to make your hole a little bit bigger, feel free to do so, but you don't want it too big that your wheels are just falling off. So once I've done that, I'm going to take again a little bit of glue and just glue around the edges. This might get a little bit messy. So once we've added our wheels and axles to our truck, our next step is to move on to assembling our electrical circuit. Now for this next step, I'm going to bring in a special guest, Rowan, who's going to guide us through these steps.
So for the first step of our electrical circuit, we will be taking our battery lead and stripping off a small portion of the positive lead, that is the red wire, using the 18 gauge slot on our provided wire strippers. We do that by inserting it into the slot, squeezing tightly, and pulling off. This will expose a portion of wire for us to use. We'll take this positive lead and connect it to the positive terminal on the battery, that is the one indicated by the plus sign, and push it through the small hole on the terminal. Once you have the red wire affixed to the positive terminal of the motor, we'll be taking our black wire and using the included section of our wire cutters here, to remove a small section. We'll then strip both sides of this wire using the same method, putting it in the 18 gauge slot and pulling out. Once you've stripped both sides of your small piece of wire, you'll be attaching one side to the negative terminal of the motor, as such. And the other side will be getting attached to one of the two terminals of the switch. It doesn't matter which one in this case. Finally, we will be stripping a small portion of the remaining black wire on our battery leads in the same method as before. And we will be attaching this black lead to the other terminal of the switch to complete the circuit. Like so. Once you have your red wire connected to the positive terminal of the switch, your small lead between the motor and the switch, and the remaining black lead from the battery lead connecting to the switch, you will attach your provided 9-volt battery as shown. As you can see, our switch is currently in the on position and the motor is working. Once you've ensured that your circuit is functioning, you'll be taking your glue gun or other provided glue and putting a small drop of glue on each of the connections to secure them. Like so, and just like that, it's ready for installation. Once you have all the contacts glued in your circuit, we'll be taking 2 of the provided rubber bands and putting them around the shaft of the motor. I've placed a drop of glue on the stack inside the vehicle. I'm now going to take the motor and the rubber bands and push them onto the glue and push the motor into the wall of the vehicle so the shaft is making contact. To attach the switch, I'll put a small drop of glue on the back of the truck, like so, and just hold it onto the wall until it's hardened. Once we have both the switch and the motor in place, and the battery connected to the leads inside the vehicle, we'll be stretching the elastic bands over the wheels. To do this, take a pencil or other thin object and just move it over like so.
Thanks for the expertise, Rowan. So once we've finished assembling our electrical vehicle and designing our truck, we're on to the fun part, which is to test it.